right, there we are. We're live. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to DuePoint. Welcome to everyone who is tuned in on our live broadcast around the country. So my name is Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint. I'm going to be spending about 45 minutes with you. We're going to go through a little bit of background of DuePoint, how it was formed, when it was formed, the reason why it was formed, and then more importantly, the bulk of the presentation will be the benefit to you, and that's really what the proposition is made up of. After the presentation, you're welcome to come speak to me, ask me any questions that you might have. All right, so let's begin. As you can see, we're a division of a company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. Constantia is a registered insurance company in South Africa. We were founded in 1952, so we've been around for a very long time. And you might be asking yourself, well, why don't I know the name Constantia? Because Constantia has never dealt with consumers in the past. In the last nearly 70 years, Constantia has only dealt with other insurance companies. But for the first time through this division, we are now directing our efforts towards the public. So you'll become a lot more familiar with that brand and the name. Their offices are just down the road here in Randburg. We don't share offices with them. The FSP number that we operate under is that one over there. That's very important. You'll notice in the foyer we've got all our Financial Services Board licenses on display for you to go scrutinize if you so wish. We've got a long and short-term insurance license, an investment license, our FSP license, and we've also put up our accreditation with the Direct Marketing and the Direct Selling Association. So go take a look at those. We take credibility very seriously here at DuePoint because I know for someone who's been involved in advertising for nearly 3 decades, I understand that for any transaction to happen, trust and credibility have to be the basis for any partnership or collaboration. And so I want you to trust the business that we're going to be speaking about. If that requires you to go do a little bit of background checking, by all means go do some snooping around. We are listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange under a group called Conduit Capital, so you can find all that information on our website, on Constantia's website, on Conduit's website. You can even go to the Financial Services Board's website and go look up our licenses there. All right. The senior staff are these people up on screen. So the first 3 people, Brendan, Tim, and Stacey, are our registered chartered accountants in the business. They look after a lot of the accounting, the auditing, and the regulatory requirements in our business. Brendan is our senior executive, so he heads up this division. He was previously the chief operating officer of a very successful short-term insurance company down the road called Prime Meridian Direct. He has grown up only knowing insurance because his father has been very successful in that space. Dr. Brian Benfield has been the CEO of a number of businesses in South Africa, at least insurance businesses in South Africa. He's a professor of insurance. He taught at Wits for 25 years. They founded businesses in Europe. They've assisted businesses in Australia. And so they've got some wonderful financial pedigree in the family. We're very lucky to have Brendan heading up this division. And then Jane and I, we're the 2 non-accountants in the business, just as important as the accountants, but we're not accountants, right? Make that clear. So Jane is very experienced in direct marketing, network marketing, direct selling. She's been doing it for pretty much all her working career. She's from the UK, and her experience is paramount to our business because we're an insurance company, right? But the marketing model that we've adopted is one of referral or network marketing, and Jane's experience is very important to us because we rely on that part of our business to grow our brand in South Africa. And then myself, I've been working in advertising for over 25 years. I know I look like I'm only in my 20s, but I'm a bit older. I ran a digital agency for about 15 years. Our business also operated heavily within the financial space. We did a lot of work for the big banks, particularly Investec. So that's a little bit about my background. We've got our client service staff, we've got admin staff, but the mandate of staff here at DuePoint, the focus pretty much every day of staff of DuePoint is to support everybody that decides to join us in this partnership. We want to see people that we collaborate with being effective, more importantly, being profitable, and ultimately being happy. Right? And so everything that we do is to support you in that endeavor. So no, if you join this business, you are not alone. If you feel alone, it's because you haven't pressed into the support that's available to you, right? Press into all that support. It will certainly put you on track to being effective, profitable, and happy here at DuePoint. So very quickly, we kind of just look at the circumstance that a lot of South Africans find themselves in. It's not a pretty slide, right? How many of us thought 2018 was going to be a great year? What was your Facebook status at the end of 2017? Tell me the truth, right? 2017 was horrible. 2018 is going to be a good year for me. Now what have you decided? Right, we're in September. How's 2018 been for everybody? Yeah, so we don't have to go on too much about it. We know the personal circumstance that a lot of people find themselves in. It's fairly dismal, and unfortunately, in the short term, there's not much of a positive outlook. We've been told that we're in a recession. I mean, even the SOEs are talking about retrenching staff. I know my wife's father, he works for Implats, Impala Platinum in Rustenburg. They're laying off 3,500 people. My father, who's also involved in mining, he says in Rustenburg in the northwest, he says one person earning a salary supports up to 10 people in the family. So if 3,500 people get laid off, that's 30,000 to 40,000 people that have suddenly become destitute overnight because of lost jobs. And this is what we have to deal with, right? So when I talk about our prospects not looking too positive, well, you can say, well, don't be too negative, Rob. I'm not negative, but we have to pay cognizance to the circumstance that we find ourselves in, because the necessity is going to drive your motivation in this business. Right, so that's a fairly important point. So we're not going to go on too much about it. Things really come to a head for a lot of South Africans when they get to retirement. South Africans can't afford to retire. I even saw a headline last week that said 50% of South Africans can't afford to die. That's fairly dismal, right? That's because you're going to leave all this debt behind once they wind up your estate. Anyway, 2.5 years ago, Constantia decided to actually turn the circumstance into an opportunity. And we launched this business called DuePoint, along with the DuePoint system in February 2016, with a primary aspiration for this business. And that aspiration is to generate wealth for people, right? To allow them the opportunity to change their circumstance, not to create just additional income for yourselves, to go a step further, to creating wealth. Does everyone want to be wealthy? Yes. Right? You think you were just here to earn some extra money, right? We talk about wealth creation here at DuePoint. And so we've got a couple of secondary aspirations, which you probably need to align yourselves to if you really want to focus on creating wealth. One of those aspirations is getting rid of your debt. Getting rid of it as fast as possible, right? Not waiting 20 years to pay a bond off, not waiting 6-7 years to pay your car off, not waiting a lifetime to pay off your credit debt. Right? Get rid of it as quickly as possible, because what that does is it empowers you to create wealth. And we create wealth through the ownership of assets, and that can take on a number of forms. And hopefully those assets can create annuity income that they can appreciate. And that's really where wealth lies. And that's what our business is all about, is about empowering you to creating wealth. How does this work? As guests this afternoon, you have the opportunity to join this business called DuePoint. Once you join us, we refer to you as wealth engineers. And as a wealth engineer, you have the single task of going out and connecting other people to this business. If you are successful in referring people successfully to DuePoint, who ultimately become wealth engineers and product owners, well, then you are successful in building what we call a channel of distribution. That's what you're really here to do. And I'll show you what one of those look like. But if you can get that right, there are a host of benefits waiting for you. Primarily, of course, you get to create an additional income stream for yourself. What's better than one paycheck at the end of the month? Exactly, 3. Let's start at 2. We'll work on the third one. When you start generating wealth for yourself, you will get to the third one and perhaps the fourth one, right? But we create that additional income stream, be it number 2, number 3, number 4. But what's very important to note is the nature of the income. We create what you call recurring income, and this is very much the antithesis of active income. Active income is what you are involved in as a salaried employee, right? You have to put so many hours in every month to get your salary, right? So you're very much constrained by time. If next month in October you decided you weren't going to work in October, how much would your company pay you at the end of October? Absolutely 0, right? That's called active income. But if you start benefiting from a business that creates recurring or passive or annuity income, well then, next month has got nothing to do with your time. It's got to do with the asset that you created. And at DuePoint, we create the asset. The asset is the channel of distribution that pays you every month. So what does that mean? That means you have the ability to make money while you're sleeping, because you're not constrained by time in this business, right? Very important benefit to understand, recurring income. Power duplication, it's your opportunity to go out and build a team. A team that can create greater recurring income, faster, build your channel faster and more effectively, right? And so that's a benefit that you most certainly want to take or at least leverage as much as possible, is the power of duplication. And I'll show you with some of the wealth engineers how that duplication, that power of duplication exists in their businesses, and it actually exists for everybody. Our business, FlexiTime, the technology that we've imposed here at DuePoint, allows you to build this business anywhere in South Africa at any time. You can start building your channel of distribution in Cape Town tomorrow from Johannesburg, no problem, because of the technology that we have here at DuePoint, right? There's no startup capital. We've designed this business to have a very low barrier to entry. Purposefully, we made this business to be low risk. Imagine I stood up here and said, okay, guys, I spoke to you about all the benefits, and everyone got very excited, and at the end I said it cost 50,000 Rand to join. And you all laugh at me. Exactly. We haven't done that. There's no starter costs here. We don't have registration fees. We don't have starter kits. We don't have boxes of product that you have to buy. And so you're free to consider this business without any fear of risk. All right? There's no qualifications or experience required to join DuePoint. You get to build an asset that you have ownership over. This channel of distribution that I keep speaking about is actually an asset that is in your name. You have legal tender over this asset. What does that mean? It means you can sell it. If it's producing 5,000 Rand a month, it has a lot of value, right? You can sell that if you want to. It also means that when you get to retirement, when your salary ends, right? Or if you get retrenched and your salary ends, DuePoint doesn't retrench you. DuePoint doesn't retire you. Because you've got an asset that derives income for you, that does not end, right? Not like active income. Active income has a lot of risk attached to it. It is a great place in our lives because it pays the bills. But it's a battle to get active income to get you to a wealthy status. It also means that when you die, you get to pass wealth on to the next generation. In your will, you can cede your channel of distribution to your beneficiaries, to your wife, to your husband, to your children. Who would like to pass wealth on to their children when they die? Right now, you're lucky if you cover funeral costs. Like I said, that article that said 50% of South Africans can't afford to die, right? It's because they're so indebted when they die. There's no selling involved in our business. So if you read your code of conduct, you will notice that in the code of conduct, it explicitly states that you may not promote, publish, market, or sell any of our products. You don't even have to speak about our products, right? This is a great thing. I trust no one wants to go sell insurance products to their friends this weekend. Right? You don't have to do that. What you're tasked with is going out and connecting people to the business opportunity. The business opportunity. Right? Not our products. That is my job. I will tell people about the products. Our website has got all the information about the products. The YouTube channel's got in-depth review videos of the products. You don't speak about products. You're going to go to people and say, I've got an income opportunity. I can see you suffering. I can see you need money, right? The entire country is the target market. So we don't have a problem with target market. The nature of our products being financial means they're very convenient because we don't have stock and distribution issues. Did anyone bring a bucky today thinking they're going home with 40 kilograms of milkshakes? No, right? No, we don't have those issues. Everything is taken care of by IT systems. Everything is in the cloud, so to speak. You never have to worry about stock and distribution here at DuePoint, right? It gets taken care of automatically. So those are the host of benefits that you get to derive here at DuePoint by building a channel of distribution. What does a channel of distribution look like? It begins with you. You become a wealth engineer and a product owner, and now you're going to go out and connect other people to the business, right? So you might go speak to 10 people. Out of the 10, 5 say, no, I'm not interested, but 5 say, yes, I am interested. And they join you in your channel. That is where the power duplication begins. Because from that point, once you've connected other people to this business, your channel will grow whether you like it or not, right? Because you've just empowered these people to become wealth engineers, and what they're going to do is they're going to go out and connect other people. Because what they're doing is they're building their own channels, right? In turn, yours. This is where the collaboration takes place. Bring strong people in. Onto your first point. What is a strong person? It is someone that has the resources to thrive as a DuePoint wealth engineer. Because if you bring weak people in that don't have resources, this is not a charity business, unfortunately. I know there's a lot of people that need help, but it's not a charity business. You have to make a business decision in who you bring into your organization on that first point, right? Because if you bring weak people, the whole organization becomes weak. That behavior filters into the rest of your channel. If you bring strong people, the same behavior filters into the rest of your channel. Ultimately, what you want to be doing is building a strong, sustainable channel. Who would like in 5 years' time to take a 3-month holiday? Has anyone even considered that a possibility in their lifetimes? I'm not talking about retrenchment or being in between jobs. I'm talking about still deriving income while you're on holiday for 3 months. If you have an asset that is paying out recurring income, you have the liberty of deciding to do that one day. Because if you have a channel and you're earning off of every single product owner that you see on the slide, yeah, well, if you don't do any work next month, you're still getting paid. And the month after that, and the month after that, because we are not constrained by time. Build a strong channel. Bring in strong people at the beginning. You cannot become wealthy in this business overnight. So this is my warning to you. We are not unlike any other entrepreneurial opportunity. To be successful in any aspect of life requires hard work. What is the saying? Anything worth working for or worth having is worth working for, right? If you want to become wealthy overnight, maybe play the lotto. 20 million to 1 odds. That's not bad odds, is it? Hey? What's the lotto sitting at nowadays? 50 million? Something like that? I played golf with one guy whose driver won the first lotto in South Africa ever. He won 20 million, right? We're not playing the lotto here. This is an entrepreneurial opportunity that requires hard work, right? If you want to become professional or successful in anything, it might look nice from the outside. That's what it requires. You look at any successful entrepreneur, dig a little deeper, you will see long nights, dedication, endurance, weathering the storms. That is my invitation to you. No one ever walks out on this slide. I'm always impressed. Right? The warning is obviously not that scary. Okay. I'm going to go into our financial products. So they actually all, their benefits are financial in nature. The last product's not really a financial product, but their benefit is all financial in nature. The products have not been designed arbitrarily. They are designed around wealth creation in mind. So the first product, like Access Wealth, is designed to increase the assets that you have. Our 2 insurance products are there to protect your assets, right? And then the last product that we're going to look at is there to designed to lower your cost of living every single month. All right, so Access Wealth, like I said, is our investment product. It's going to cost you 324 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand is invested into a tax-free investment fund. That is an actively managed fund. We've got fund administrators, fund managers involved in this product, and you can see the product resides with Sanlam. And on top of this investment, you have 120,000 Rands worth of personal accident death cover. So if you have this investment in place, you've got Access Wealth, you're killed in any form of accident, we'll pay out your beneficiaries 120,000 Rand plus whatever's in the investment. And that investment you've got full access to. There's no delay period on it. There's no notice that you have to give. So this is the investment product. Straightforward, tax-free investment fund. The second product is called Wealth Guard. Wealth Guard is only insurance. It is personal accident death cover. But for the 249 that you're paying every month, you get 1 million Rands worth of personal accident death cover. Right? The beauty of personal accident death cover is that it doesn't discriminate against health status or age. Right? So anyone over the age of 18 can take out this product. You can be 60 years old. You can have heart problems. The premium stays the same. And the amount of cover that you receive remains the same. All right, so Wealth Guard, the insurance product. Family Wealth is our funeral cover product. The funeral cover product is going to cost you 299 Rand a month. It gives you and your family 20,000 Rands worth of funeral cover. It covers up to 5 family members, right? And again, we don't discriminate against age. You can see there, no excluded pre-existing conditions or your health status, right? So again, you can be 60 years old, you can be diabetic. It doesn't affect your premium. Your premium remains the same. You can bump your cover up to 30,000 Rand. You can include up to 10 family members. And we also give you 10,000 Rands worth of debt protection. That means upon death, we will pay out, if you owe anyone money, up to the value of 10,000 Rand. All right, so that's our funeral cover product, Family Wealth. And then lastly, we've got Wealth Points. Wealth Points is designed to lower your cost of living. Think about all the money that you spend every single month. Who are you spending that money with, right? So what we've done, for 299 Rand a month, we've gone and negotiated discounts with a list of companies that you see over there, right? So the discounts vary with each partner. And what we've tried to do is we've tried to cover the spectrum of cost of living. So I know people spend money on data every single month. There we've got a data partner. 1 gig will cost you 36 Rand. through that data partner, right? We've got ShopRite Checkers, 2.5% off your entire trolley every time you shop at ShopRite Checkers. And then Hirsch is quite a popular one. We've got some other online retailers. We've got car manufacturers. We've got access to restaurants and hotels through the Entertainer. You have immediate benefit with this product. Immediate benefit. You can start using those discounts immediately. The Entertainer is the only one with a 6-month waiting period, right? The rest, immediate access. So this is Wealth Points. Those are 4 products. If you need more information, go to the website. There's more information there. And like I said, on YouTube, in-depth reviews. But they are designed to be straightforward products. These are not complicated products. Very quickly, our business model. Every now and again, we get the question, well, how does DuePoint pay people every single month? And to the extent where we take some wealth engineers overseas, we buy cars for them, how does DuePoint afford all of this? Very basically, traditional insurance companies spend a large portion of their budgets on marketing and advertising, right? So we know it. You turn on the radio, there's insurance ads, billboards everywhere, newspaper ads, right? Insurance companies spend a fortune on advertising. At DuePoint, has anyone seen a DuePoint advert? Radio advert, TV advert, nothing, right? Because we don't spend a cent on advertising. But what we do is we take that portion of our budget and we give it to our wealth engineers for the work that they do in successfully building channels of distribution. In other words, growing our brand in South Africa. Right? That is how our business model works. So there are 2 ways for you to benefit, to derive value out of DuePoint. 2 ways. Our returns program and the rewards program. Right? The returns program is that money that we pay our wealth engineers every single month. Right? It is based on this. We pay a base return fee of R27.50 for every product that you have in your channel. So remember the slide where I showed you what a channel of distribution looks like with all the dots? Imagine earning off of every single dot. But it depends on where that product lies in relation to you. So in this example, we showed that you connected 5 people to your channel, right? Those 5 product owners lie on what we call your first point. They are 1 point away from you. And on your first point, we actually pay you double the R27.50. So you're earning R55 for every product on your first point every single month because it's recurring income. And when those individuals go out and they connect other people, those product owners lie on your second point. And again, on your second point, you earn R55 every single month. And then as your channel starts to grow and grow and grow, right, the product gets further away from you. And the further away the product gets, the multiplier drops steadily, all the way to the 8th point. So if you build a channel that's 8 points wide or deep, you're earning 4% at 0.8, but we don't limit you at 0.8 because your channel will carry on growing, right? So from 0.8 onwards, in theory to infinity, we will keep paying you the 4% of the R27.50. There's no limitation to how big your channel can get at DuePoint. There is no limitation to how much money you can earn at DuePoint. Right, with some of our wealth engineers, so we've got 2 big wealth engineers here, Patrick and Pumi and Dani, their channels were beyond 0.30 within 2 years. In 24 months, right? They've got the potential to earn all the way up to 0.30. So how quickly can you earn money in this business? That's always what people want to understand. They want to know, is my time worth it in this business? Am I going to be rich by Christmas? Because I've got big plans for December. Right? So this will give you an idea of what you could earn here at DuePoint. It is based on an assumption around your activity, your success in building a channel of distribution. So it assumes in your first month, you connect 3 people to your first point. Right? 3 in your first month. So September, you're going to connect 3 people into the business. Every consecutive month thereafter, you only have to connect 2. 3 in September, 2 in October, 2 in November, 2 in December, into perpetuity. Right? And if you can follow that activity, you can expect to earn numbers very similar to these. After 6 months of doing that, you could be earning around R2,500 a month. Now, I love this little number. Who thinks it's a little number? R2,500. See, the wealth engineers all know the lesson, so they all agree with me. No, it's a big number. Would you work for 6 months for R2,500 in a business? Consider it. I'll give you a very easy example. What happens if I gave each of you R2,500 today? It was your lucky presentation. And I gave everyone R2,500, and you put the R2,500 into your back pocket or into your handbag, in your wallet. How long would it last? Today is Wednesday, lunchtime. How long would the R2,500 last realistically? Some people are chuckling. By 5 p.m. Right? And that's exactly how consumers think. That's exactly how I think. I catch myself doing it constantly. I give money the spending value that it has. Right? It is a very finite value to give money. If you are focused on wealth creation or investment, well, suddenly you start looking at money differently. Because someone who's focused on wealth creation knows that they can derive more value out of 2,500 Rand than the spending value that it has. And I'll illustrate it to you. Remember our first aspiration in the beginning of the presentation, I said, pay your debt off as quickly as possible. So I'm going to show you the power of that with little 2,500 Rand. Who would like to own a home? Right? I've been trying for 14 years. I still don't own a home. I'm still paying the bank. Right? Everyone aspires to owning a home. So here's someone that went and found a nice little house for R1 million. In Bryanston, it'll probably be about 40 square meters apartment, right? But no one's got R1 million in their bank account, so they go to the bank, they ask for a loan. The bank finances them. It's called a bond, right? There's a bond term. How long are you going to pay the bond off for? And then the interest rate. So let's say it's prime plus 2, 20-year term on R1 million. You're going to be paying back about 11,500 Rand a month for 20 years before you become a home owner, right? You join DuePoint. 6 months later, with a little bit of activity and success, you're earning an extra 2,500 Rand a month. Now you're faced with a decision. Do I think like a consumer, or do I focus on wealth creation? Do I spend the 2,500 Rand, or do I decide to pay my debt off a little bit faster? Well, if you pay your debt off a little bit faster, I'm going to show you what value that 2,500 Rand can have in your life. You put 2,500 Rand as an additional payment into your R1 million bond, you'll pay that bond off not in 20 years, but in 11.5 years. That little 2,500 Rand has just saved you 900,000 Rand in interest that you would have paid to the bank. That's 6 months away. Who would like to pay their house off in half the time? If I'd done that, I would have been owner of 2 houses by now, but I'm still paying the bond. All right? At month 12, you're earning in excess of 100,000 Rand in annual recurring income. You see how quickly that jumped? Power duplication does that. Who would like a 100,000 Rand check every January? Come to DuePoint, your name, 100,000 Rand on it every single January. How does that change your life? That's 12 months away, folks. At month 24, you're sitting at close to 30,000 Rand. At month 36, you're going to be closing in on 50,000 Rand. At month 48, 70,000 Rand. 5 years from today, you could be earning 85,000 Rand a month. That's equivalent of about R1 million in annual recurring income. Throw your 100,000 Rand check away. Come to DuePoint's office every January and pick up a R1 million check for yourself. Who stopped believing me when I got to the big numbers? And that's fine. I trust that people will start thinking, oh no, this is right, 100,000 Rand a month. I can't even think about earning that every single month. That's crazy talk. This is academic. This is a theory, right? Complex. We've got actuaries that worked on this because we take into account all the negative aspects of our business, people that don't pay, people that don't build, all of those things, right? So we still take into account that. We still get to that number. But we've got wealth engineers that are doing the business. So real people who are doing the business, and we invite them up onto stage every single month. Because I know that their testimonies you will believe more than you believe the marketing person. Right? It's called a review. Everyone goes to check the reviews. Yes? To get the truth. Here are some reviews. So go onto our YouTube channel. You'll see there's a whole thing called Testimonies. Wealth Engineers Tell All. Go watch the testimonies, right, if you want to see. So Renee and Henny, they've been in the business only 6 months. So they've really just started. The value of their channel is sitting at 1,600 Rand a month. They've introduced to their first point only 14 people. That's translated to 33 products in their channel. That's where they're deriving the 1,600 Rand per month. You might be thinking, well, they're not even at 2,500 Rand. Now, it's an even worse example. Is 1,600 Rand a month worth 6 months of work? Let me pose a question that you're going to ask yourselves when you get to retirement. When you get to retirement, you're going to look in your investment and see how much money you've saved over the last 45 years of working. How much money do you need in that investment to derive 1,600 Rands worth of interest every month so that you can live off it? The answer's there. Nearly 400,000 Rand you need in a bank account to derive 1,600 Rands worth of interest at 5%. That's exactly the question you're going to ask yourself when you get to retirement. Can anyone live off 1,600 rand a month? Of course not, right? And so the figure that you need to get to is probably around 4, 5, 6 million rand. They generated that equivalent of 400,000 rand in the space of 6 months. And they haven't stopped. They're still growing. Then we got some people that got to 1,000 products in their channel. Here's Donnie. So Donnie's sitting in front here. It took him 16 months to get to 1,200 products. And then you're earning between 20 and 30,000 rand. In his first month at DuePoint, he connected one person. Right? Not even the 3, Donnie, just 1. But Donnie's belief started growing in the business. And he's still in. He started averaging 5 new connections into his first point every single month. That got him to 1,200 products in the space of 16 months. And he helped 13 people on his first point start generating income for themselves. That's kind of like the feel-good story, right? Helping other people to generate income. Then we've got Patrick and Pumi. Pumi's sitting over here. I think Patrick's outside. Patrick and Pumi took 11 months to get to 1,400 products. In their first month, they connected 14 people in their first month, right? So they came out the gates running. They started averaging 8 new connections in their business every single month. And like Donnie, they had 13 people generating income for themselves alone on their first point. Now, we've got thousands of people joining this business every single month. Everybody is different. The system is identical for everybody. Now, why would everyone be doing differently? Well, there's a whole plethora of different factors, right? Belief in yourself, belief systems, circumstances at home, excuses, whatever the reason is. But you are at liberty to decide what you want from this business. I've got an imaginary table here in front of everybody. I've got 1,000 rand a month, 5,000 rand a month, 10,000 rand a month, 20,000 rand a month, 100,000 rand a month. You are free to come up to the table and take whatever you like. That's the decision you need to make today. But the decision goes beyond that, because to make a decision of what you want is a fleeting moment. It takes you 1 second to decide what you wish you had. Practically, if you want to be successful in this business, I want you to decide by the end of this presentation how DuePoint's going to fit into your life. Not like a New Year's resolution. We're not trying to stop smoking. We're not trying to lose weight, right? Trying to save our lives. If you look at the statistics, you're trying to save your life. Unfortunately, majority of people only jump when they're in crisis. That's just a fact, right? I'm hoping people will mitigate that risk by getting involved in a business like this, that when the crisis arrives, it's not a crisis. How do you get started in this business? Very easily. You fill out our application form. It takes literally about 5-6 minutes to do, and suddenly you're a wealth engineer. But now you have to start applying yourself to this business. How do you do that? Read our code of conduct. That's our contract with you. And then maybe go look at some of our training. We've got lots of training on the YouTube channel, lots of resources available to support you in this process, to get you going. And then set goals for yourself. A goal is something with a deadline. A goal is not, I wish I was a millionaire. A goal is, I want to earn 10,000 rand a month in 12 months' time. That's a goal, right? Because from the goal, you can then derive a plan. And the plan is easy, right? We show you a couple of plans. 3 plus 2 is a plan. You want to get to 9,000 rand a month after 12 months? I know you need to be connecting 2 or 3 people a month. That'll get you to 9,000 rand every single month. 108,000 rand extra a year. That's the plan. How do you implement the plan? Well, there's one single metric you have to worry about in this business. Only one. You don't have to care about anything else. One number you have to worry about. How many people do I need to speak to keep my plan on track? Because not everyone you're going to speak to is going to say yes. I'll just warn you now, right? Avoid disappointment. You might have to speak to 10 people to get 3 to join. Well, that's the number. That's the number. Put the number up in your bathroom on the fridge. You speak to 10 people a month, 3 will join. You're on track to 100,000 rand a year in 12 months' time. Simple as that. Join our Facebook. Oh, sorry, the merchandise. Almost forgot the merchandise. The merchandise is there to empower your ability to connect people successfully. I've worked in advertising pretty much my entire working career. Advertising is about building trust in the consumer's eye, right? How do you do that? Well, first impressions. go a long way. If anyone walks in this room, every single one of us will take a split second to judge that person. Right? And so use that to your advantage. If you sit down in a meeting, you've got a DuePoint book, you've got a pin on your lapel perhaps, and you've got business cards. Versus someone who arrives in shorts, no notepad, no pen, no business cards. Who are you going to trust? The former, the first person, right? Get the merchandise. It is designed to allow you to be more successful in connecting people. The business cards for me are the most important thing. Get the business cards. 500 business cards, we can send them anywhere in the country, right? Get the business cards. Start investing in this business. Facebook, join the Facebook page. We produce content on there daily. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. All our videos are on there. And more importantly, it broadcasts out our intro presentation 8 times a week live to the entire country. It is 8 opportunities a week for you to grow your channel in any town in South Africa, overnight, with no expense to you. And then finally, download the mobile app. Works on Android and Apple devices. That is your business in the palm of your hand. That's why I say you can do this business anywhere, anytime, because it all runs off of your mobile phone. On to our rewards program. So this is the cherry on top. How does the rewards program work? Well, what we do is we reward you for the success you have in building your channel here. Not only do we pay you at the end of the month, but we have these additional rewards. They're almost like little incentives, little bits of motivation to keep you going, right? Because as attractive as earning money is every single month, doesn't a beach with palm trees in the ocean look more attractive than a pile of money? I don't know. You be the judge. Depends how desperate you are at the end of the month. What are we? Only halfway in the month, right? So the rewards program works like this. If you become a wealth engineer today, you will start out as a rank 0 wealth engineer. To get to rank 1, you need what we call 1,000 XP. XP stands for experience points. We give you XP for everything. You come to a presentation, we give you XP. You bring guests, we give you XP. Do home presentations, we give you XP. There are 20 different ways to earn XP. Getting 1,000 XP takes 5 minutes. You need 4 products in your qualified channel, and when you meet those 2 criteria, you become a rank 1 wealth engineer, and we give you an extra 55 Rand reward, once off, on top of your return at the end of the following month. Who can get excited? Rob, you said we get excited by the rewards. Who gets excited by extra 55 Rand? What can you buy with 55 Rand? 1 litre petrol. Next month, 1 litre petrol is going to cost you 55 Rand, right? But more importantly, maybe the 55 Rand is not much, but more importantly, what you've just proven to yourself is if you can get to rank 1 in our business, you can get to any rank. This program goes beyond rank 20. It goes up to rank 28. We couldn't fit it all on one slide, right? Because the rank 20s are doing exactly the same thing the rank 1s are. They're just speaking to the number of people that they need to speak to every single month. There's no difference. The only difference is they've endured it for longer than you have. So if you get to rank 1, you can get to any rank. And there's a 20,000 Rand check waiting for you, a 50,000 Rand check. We give tools to our wealth engineers that help them connect more successfully in their businesses, right? Little fancy USB sticks that plug into everything. All our collateral's on there at rank 7. We spent 12,500 Rand manufacturing 1 set of business cards for you. Who in their right mind would spend 12,500 Rand on 1 set of business cards? Well, we would. For you. Why? Because credibility is so very important, especially in a business like this where we don't do marketing and advertising. If you sit down in a meeting, how many people have heard of DuePoint when you sit down in the meeting? Almost nobody, right? And so first impressions are valuable in this business. When you throw a 12,500 Rand business card down on the table, you win the round. Because no one at the table has got 12,500 Rand business cards. At rank 9, we take you and your family to our international conference, not once, every single year for the rest of your life. That's why we showcase. Dani and Patrick and Pumi, they got to rank 9 in 16 months and 11 months respectively. One gentleman got to rank 9 in 5 months. How quickly can you get to 1,000 products? That's waiting for you. Business class tickets for you and your family every single year, 7 days away, 5-star luxury resort for the rest of your life. Your children will grow up not knowing what economy class is. Think about that. So take a look. This was our last trip. This was the Western Turtle Bay in Mauritius. Don't worry, I'll grab them. We're going to a different resort this year, but this is available for everybody in the room.
All of your wind has gone, and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sound where no one can see. You stand, don't let the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up. We will start from the start. 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 We will start from the start.
Like I said, that's available for every single person in this room. Everyone. We don't reset your XP at the end of every year. You won't make our trip in December, right? Well, maybe 3 months. 3 months you'll break records getting to 1,000 products, perhaps not impossible. But it'll take generally people 2-3 years to get to rank 9 if they work consistently here at DuePoint. But that's what awaits you. Right? At rank 11, we spend R250,000 buying you a brand new car. Cash in your name, no debit order at the end of the month. Although by that time, petrol's going to be more expensive than the actual car. Right? And that's available for you. No DuePoint stickers, no terms and conditions. The car is yours in your name, done. We are at rank 11. What did I say we go up to? Rank 28. There is a lot in store for wealth engineers in this business. If wealth engineers can get to rank 11 in 2 years, what can you do in 10 years? Where would you be in 20 years? Are we thinking short term or long term? Wealth is always long term. Always long term. We've got some great roadshow destinations in store for the rest of the country in the next couple of months. So you can see the dates there, Durban, PE, Bloem, Bombela and Cape Town. I want people to have a prosperous 3 months remaining to the year. I do. How many of us have written the year off already? Who's already decided 2018 is rubbish? 2019 is going to be a good year, right? How many of us have written the year off? But there's an entire 25% of the year still left. This is wonderful opportunity to start building your channel nationally around the country. All you have to do is find a single person in each of these destinations and get a couple of names from that one person. Invite them to the roadshow. This is a business seminar that we're going to be doing in every single destination that ultimately builds belief in DuePoint. It's not just an intro presentation. There's a seminar where we get people to be entrenched in this business, to have belief in themselves and what the business can do for them. Who would like to be wealthier in December than they are today? Who thinks they're going to be poorer in December compared to today? Well, I can tell you right now, if you only have a salary and you're in South Africa's economy, I guarantee you, you will be poorer in December than you are today. Because inflation is smashing your salary out the park at the moment. Petrol's going up R1.30 next month. Some economist wrote an article that says realistically the rand should be at 25 rand to the dollar. Guys, the necessity is there. Get onto our website, click on events, go look at the encounters, book yourself and guests on these encounters. And for the rest of the year, I want you to decide what you're going to do for yourself. Over are the days where we go, oh, I'll wait for the economy to turn. Who's waiting for the economy to turn? Right? It might, hopefully it will. But it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take years, perhaps decades, before our economy starts turning. We need to start taking control over our income ourselves, right? It requires the work. That is my invitation to you. I invite you to join this business called DuePoint, where we focused on being effective, being profitable, and ultimately changing our circumstances so that we're happier. Our business is geared to support you so that you can achieve those three things. Even if you are skeptical, if you're like me, I'm a natural skeptic. I'll be sitting there like this, watching the presenter. If you're a natural skeptic, no problem. We've designed the business to have a low barrier to entry, low risk, so that you are free to try the business without any fear of losing anything, right? And so you have the opportunity to try the business for 30 days, 60 days. You can cancel at any time in this business. There is less risk in this business than there is in your gym contract. Who's got a gym contract? Right? No one. So much risk, that's why. Right? We want everything pay as you go because we want to get out as quickly as possible if we need to. Right? The same at DuePoint. There's no contract. Quit whenever you want. But what it does is it affords you the opportunity to try it. If you give this business 30 days, I guarantee you, you'll be wealthier next month than you were last month. That is my invitation to you. So, sincerely, I wish a prosperous 3 months for the people here. All right? If you have any questions, come speak to me. Otherwise, good luck. Thank you.